good. Okay. Like, first of all, welcome to another Tribe Talking on a Tuesday with Miriam. Y'all, we up in here another Tuesday. We've been doing this every week for like 3 months. I don't know. I didn't know if I was going to keep up, but here we are. Here we are. And to answer your question, I am hella good.
You look beautiful, darling. You look
you're stunning.
Beautiful.
You're stunning. We're going to get this thing started because I have so many questions to ask you, and this hour is not long enough. So I'm going to tell you what we normally do. We start with a 30-second commercial. Please give the people your 30-second commercial. Let them know who you are, where you are, what you got going on, baby.
Oh, okay. Greetings, everyone. My name is Meisha Lerato, and Meisha means she who lives, and Lerato means love. And that is my affirmation, declaration, and manifestation for my life to be a woman that lives in love. It's a challenge. I'm not there yet. If y'all meet me on the streets, y'all see me, hold me accountable to it. That's why I put it out there. But I bring that forth and live that right now through an organization that I founded about 6 years ago called IAWA. And IAWA is seeking to, and you said 30 seconds and I'm breathing. I'm putting all these.
Get it. Give it to us.
IAWA is bringing together youth across Africa and her diaspora so that they can have a better understanding of who they are, what they want, what they can achieve in life, and have the tools internally and externally in order to bring it forth. And then I also do transformation coaching to be able to make sure that older people, us folks, also know the truth of who we are, and we also have the courage to be able to achieve it and pursue it wholeheartedly.
Id you say older people and then say us?
Elders. Yeah, I'm sitting elderly. I'm sitting as an elder. I
thought you.
We sexy though.
Oh, girl, you almost had me cut the broadcast off. I was like, shit, don't you know I'm turning 40 in a couple months? I'm still dealing. I got my little grown woman body together now. I'm trying to turn up. 40 is when you get started, ain't it?
It is. I turn 44 next month, and you know what? I'm sitting in my grown and sexy, and I own it because every one of those years has taught me a lesson. So I sit here as an older person with wisdom and with maturity, and I'm proud of my journey and where I got to. So I own every single one of those years.
You know what? I hear that. I was actually really excited to celebrate 38. I felt like 38 was like my transformation year. I was like super pumped about it. And then like, boom. We went into COVID. I mean, we went into like lockdown. And I was like, okay, maybe this is my transformation year for real. Look at the world. Look how they do. But I'm going to talk about you. Everybody always gets to hear about me because I'm very face forward. But I want to talk about you. So let's talk about how you started, because your career actually started in marketing and brand strategy, brand management, right? Talk to us about the transition from being a marketer, working in that world. What were you in nonprofit? Were you in corporate? And then deciding, let me move towards social impact and doing this work with connecting Black people to the diaspora.
Girl, you know what? A lot of prayer put me on that journey. And I think it really goes back to sort of, we all hear those whispers. We all have that discomfort, I talk to people, and we've all gone through that in different points in what I listen to it. So I was sitting working in corporate brand management. So like, the stuff that you see in the grocery stores, I was the person that figured out what the products were on the shelf, what it tasted, doing the commercials, all of that.
Yeah.
What the prices were.
That's fun.
It is. It's fun. And I use those skills every day. I loved it. I love learning about how people think and how to tap into those insights, but it wasn't my calling. Yeah. And so I went in that every day. I walked through that turnstile. I felt like I was losing a piece of myself, and I had to put on a mask in order to do what I thought I needed to do to succeed. And so I prayed and I said, God, I'm surrendering. I did what I thought I needed to do in order to achieve what I thought I wanted. And now I'm opening up to you. And that led me to quitting my job. It led me to volunteering. I had already done Peace Corps, but I did another Peace Corps in South Africa. And I traveled for a bit, and God said, start, working.
Yeah. Well, it was Peace Corps. Like, I used to always look at that like, I think I could do this. And then I would be like, nah, I'm not built for it. I need to, I'm not built for it. But then I've met people, I'm like, oh, wait. I feel like I can do it.
You know what? It really is something. I think it's like you want to know who you are without all the stuff, without all the masks, without the support system. I really feel like, it's drop you off in the middle of nowhere, and then let's see how you survive. Like, so it's not naked and afraid, but I mean, it really
sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean it's a little, maybe 10 degrees away. I don't know, but it taught me and made me who I am. You can put me anywhere in the world. I don't care what the language is. If I have a map, I'll be fine. And so it taught me how to connect with people. It taught me about how to navigate the world. It taught me about understanding the truth of humanity. It showed me the goods and the bads, and how to live and what living really means.
Yeah. Can you really read a map?
I think so, yeah. I think I can use a compass too, actually. I think I may even be able to use a compass.
Yeah, these are triggering words, y'all. I remember one time, I hope my mother is on here tonight. Mommy, are you on here? Check in. My mom sent me to this camp, and they made me use a compass and a map to get through like the woods or something, and it was raining. And I'm a different kind of country girl. Like, I like the outside, but I don't like the elements on me unless it's like by choice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't get it twisted. I was what they call a Peace Corps princess. I definitely had.
Okay, because I was like,
I was in West Africa. I had cute outfits. I got my nails done every day. May have been next to the voodoo market, but I got my nails done every week. And I definitely was. I wasn't about the like. I want to, I was like, I need amenities and things like that. But I mean, still, there is still something about. Surviving to me is less about the like I'm in the wilderness and will I be okay, but surviving is about like the heart of who you are and can you be okay without an iPhone and without TV. I didn't have internet. I didn't have a phone in my house. When I heard noises at night, I wasn't 911 I could call. I had to lean on my own, resilience to be able to get through. I didn't know how to communicate with people, and it was like, well, am I still okay? Like, aren't there.
Yeah, I love that. And I've only been to Senegal in West Africa. And we were about 3 hours outside of Dakar. So it wasn't, it wasn't like I don't think it was the least developed, but it definitely was not nearly the most developed, right? Like they still had the hole, like the actual hole in the ground to use the bathroom and things like that. But they also had like functioning toilets in some places, like it was give or take where you were. But I remember at one point thinking like, is there something in me that thinks I'm too good for this?
Those are the things that you get to answer when you're sitting there. No phone.
Yeah, it's like, is it that I'm too good for the, like, not saying that this is something I would like to do every day, but, or like I overcame it. I did to the point where I was comfortable and I had a really good time and I got to meet some really dope folks that I'm really still connected to. But I had to check myself, like, are you responding to this because it's really that bad? Or are you responding to this because for some reason you feel, entitled to better?
Girl, that I had a very similar experience as somebody who was like very proudly, I'm an African in America, doing Peace Corps. And when I went, I had this whole shock of like, oh, wait. I think I'm a little bit more American than I thought. And I was given, and it was this huge like culture shock because I was like that, what I thought and what it was, and then what I was sort of having to live with. To your point, outhouses, latrines. I'm like, I'm not like, it freaks me out. But that to me, it gave me a deeper understanding of like what's culture versus sort of the development and extrapolating the two to understand of like who I am, why I believe these things, why I'm uncomfortable with these things, and then getting to a place of like, but what really is my value system and what is important to me. And those are the things that really help me to understand coming out of my environment, who am I? But that's that discomfort, being able to feel it and challenge it. Now you can sit back and say, okay, but who am I?
Yeah, and in the moment, I had to. You have to like decolonize yourself, like in the moment,
World.
Like, right? So like, again, there was like a point where I was like, it's so hot and it's so I'm sweaty and there's like sand everywhere and all this other stuff, and I'm like. But then I was looking around, I was like, how are y'all so clean? Like, how are y'all so like, and I hate to say, I know this sounds ridiculous because I don't know what I was thinking, obviously, just being an American and only having access to American, whatever. But I was like, these folks are in here dressed to the nines, out here clean as hell, smelling good. This is that. I'm like, where are you doing this? Like, how are you getting this done? To the point where we were at the market once and it was like I saw in the distance baby wipes. Judge me how you want to judge me. I ran across that market to get them baby wipes, and like literally, like I paid. There were only 2 packs. I bought both packs, and I like was wiping. And then I thought, I was like, "What are you? You look so stupid right now. You look so stupid right now." And it was a. I had just this huge disconnect to like the fact that just people like, girl, people live different ways and they're doing just fine. And then folks, I was the stanking one. Okay. It was me. Not that, you know, when I say stanking, y'all know what I mean, but I was the stanking one in comparison. Yeah, I was the stanking one. Like, I don't have all the things that I'm used to having. They're like,
right.
Looking at me like I'm dumb.
I'm taking a class with Resma Minikin right now. He wrote Our Grandmother's Hands in.
Say it again. What's the name?
The book, Our Grandmother's Hands.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And one of the things he said in the book, one of the things he said in the class was that, you know, the colonizer and the colonized exist in all of us, right? I mean, all of us in the class were Black-bodied individuals, but that was something, to your point, I had to wrestle with. And I think leaving America, and especially going to a place where now you look like the majority and having a challenge like yourself on what you consider normal and why you consider it and what you consider obscene or like unheard of, and then sitting with that and being able to understand again, like, where is this coming from? Who am I? What do I believe? And then what really is true? Because in this place that we're in, there's a lot of things that we've come to believe that are a lot of fallacies and so much. And I even, you know, I live in South Africa now and work there, but I still am always constantly trying to check my own American privilege and say like, okay, where's this belief coming from? Where'd you get it from? Put it in its place. And this is the thing I want to put in its place. But I'm constantly checking that colonized piece of me, that piece of me that says as American, this is what I believe in, who I am, and especially in relation to other people, and then putting something else back in that where I want it, in that place where it was.
Now, why did you choose South Africa over West Africa in regards to where you placed your work?
So I did my first Peace Corps service in Benin in West Africa, which is a French-speaking country. And then I did South Africa for my second service. So I think when I did my second service, I was at a different place in my life. I was 21 when I went to Benin. I was, 30, in my 30s, early 30s when I went to South Africa. I had lived and traveled the world. So to everything we're talking about, that culture shock, I was, I knew what to expect. I knew who I was. I was older. I had something to give because I had a little bit more to give because I had a career in education. My experience, not that my experience in Benin was bad, but my experience was different, shaped by those things when I went to South Africa and I was older. But I had just the opportunity available to me in South Africa in the language, if they speak English. And the culture's so similar in South Africa and also
to the US.
Yeah, and that shared history that we have of oppression just makes it like it was just a nice, easier place to start than trying to deal with language barriers and some of the cultural nuances as well.
Yeah, I can understand that. I know I miss Senegal, but it's one of my favorite places. And it's my it's one of my favorite places. But the language barrier is real, and there's so many languages, so it's not even just like one. Like you like I remember a child was like, oh, something, and he was like, oh, I speak, and I was just looking at him like, oh, that's great.
You like, I speak English. I got English.
So proud of you. No, I'm just kidding. I really was though. Like I'm actually like I feel like we're kind of at a deficit when you think about certain things for our children. Like by the time they're 5, they know 14 languages, and whether it be the colonized tongue or the native tongue, and our babies get what So I appreciate watching other folks and how they rear. Just how communities live. I talk about this all the time. As a matter of fact, I think last week we were talking about how like you would wake up in the morning and there'd be like 20 children coming out of one house or one place, and you're like, And then the next night they'd be all at another house. And I'm like, who you don't know whose child is who gave birth to the baby. Like, I love that. I love that community. I really do. But I can understand what you're saying about the language barriers and easy transition. You want the impact to be real.
Yeah, but I do plan, like my vision for I Am We Are is to be Pan-African. And so I started in South Africa. This year we are working in Prince George's County here in Maryland, which is a sister city to the community where I work in South Africa. And so my goal is to not just to go across Africa and go into West Africa, but also into the Caribbean and South America. So, we will go into Benin and Haiti, and Benin and Haiti have shared history, and we will go to Cape Verde in Brazil, and then we got the Portuguese connection. So my goal is to make all of those linkages and bring us all back.
Tap me in, sis.
I got you.
Tap me in. Let's go. Let's go.
You down?
I'm down. I'm all the way down. He has to make his appearance. I'm all the way down, and I would love to connect you with my folks over there. Like,
please.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be back if it's safe. We'll be back in July.
Okay.
There's the Senegalese Forum Theater Festival that happens every year, and I miss them. So maybe we could do like a sister girl trip.
Let's do it. Let me look. Don't put a good time. Let me know. I got a passport and we'll use it.
Yes, because then we vacation afterwards into Bob Jalal. It's like the best beach. Oh, it's so pretty. And they've got like an artist. It's like a not a convent, but it's like this artist residence space.
Yes,
it's gorgeous.
So let me know.
I've seen for it.
That's the vision, and part of it is like I needed to figure out the systems and the work, and I wanted to make sure when we're building this from the grass up, from the utilizing the voice of the youth and what they desired and what they were saying they needed, and we were creating curriculum around that. So that moves a little bit slower and it's intentional, but now that we've figured out what we're doing and how to do it, now it's time to start let's expand and bring them together, bring kids together.
Yeah, and I would say most of the folks over there are youth workers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they would help you with the language barrier because,
Je parle français.
Oh,
yeah. No, because I lived in Benin, so I.
No, I believe you. I'm just telling you. I don't.
I speak
I was blessed for translators.
Okay. Yes, girl, and I need some too. But yes.
But I want to learn. I want to learn French and I want to learn Creole.
You're in the right city for it too.
I am. I'm gonna get to it. All right. So more about you. Okay. So I know we've talked about you already got plans. We already talked about your plans. Tell me what are you doing to stay? Hold on, Josiah. Can you close the door back? He came in, bust through, and then he was like, "I'm gonna just leave this."
Peep in.
He'll peep back in. He'll probably come and want to talk to you. We love it when he visits. That's my baby.
Oh.
You met him when he was baby.
Yeah.
He's
very. I've been following his journey too, and how he's been growing.
He's a master. He's a master of his craft, or whatever it is. He is a master of it. Let's talk about I saw, and I'll tell you. Last week and this weekend were amazing, but the couple of weeks before that were raw dog. Okay, they were raw dog. They were hard. Today, I spent about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, just going through your posts and looking at your page and reading, what you've been doing with yourself, for yourself. And I was just like, oh, this is such a breath of fresh air. And it's so honest. I could tell it's a process, right? Like we're all having to intentionally figure these things out. And it was so refreshing. So I'd love to talk about, what are you doing? Other than what what is it that you are doing that is allowing you to stay up in the way that you are able to have these experiences that you're having?
Wow. That's a lot. That's a big question.
Is it too big?
No, it's not too big.
Good. Okay,
let me think about it. Because like you said, it is a process, but I would say in this moment, I want to say prayer, but I'm gonna just put it in there because I'm not all the way in my prayer life where I want to be, but I'm gonna just start there because God is still at the center of all that I do and all that I am.
Yes.
Even if I'm not in this kind of conversation, I'm still in this kind of conversation.
Yeah, always. Mm-hmm.
So I would say prayer, and then after that, breath. Like breath.
Is it breath or rest?
Breath.
Yeah.
Which to me comes in, that brings in the rest, that brings in the meditation. So meditation being when God can talk to me, and prayer being when I talk to God. I got a prayer and meditation room right next door now that I'm trying to, my commitment is 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really
That's a commitment.
Yeah, and devotion, but it's the slowing down, it's the listening to who I am, and it's being obedient to my own soul and what God is telling me. And then I think from there, actively working on understanding and being conscious of the voice and the narratives that are limiting, and then taking them and throwing them away and telling them to shut up. So the breath work, the prayer work, the faith, the faith walking, journaling, that allows me to be able to hear the voice. And then it also allows me to have the strength to say, no, that's not what we do.
Yeah. That's all right. We know you popping. We know you popping. It was just a matter of time.
Look, I'm gonna repeat that. Yes.
Yes. Look, my phone dry over here, like ding, 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 nothing. No, but no, I'm just kidding. But I can relate to the breath part. I don't think people realize how often we just sit there, not breathing, like just holding our breath, like anxiety, frustration, fear. Anytime you're like met in these weird places, like I was in. At a restaurant, and I got frustrated with the waitress. She was taking, it was just like a horrible experience with the waitress. And I was like, caught myself like, just, like holding it in all up in here. Mm-hmm. And I was so tight that it caused like a stress in my shoulder. Yeah. And it was like physical pain. Yeah. And I had to like, wait a minute, it ain't that deep. Like the food was good. She just got on my nerves a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. And I don't know what she got going on. I had to like walk myself through that and take breaths. So I understand that completely. Where did are you a yogi?
No, girl, no, I'm not that far in my life. No, that's not me. I think,
did you say you're not that far?
I'm not that. It looks really cute. And and like a part of me in my head, I would love to be her, but I'm not her.
Yeah. Like when you see them doing it on the beach and it's all like,
no, I can meditate on the beach. I do that all the time. And I just said, but yes, girl, in my head, there's these chocolate yogi people I follow in my head, and they be twisted up and they be looking all sexy. I can do that in my head. Girl, I look so good in my head.
Girl, I got sciatica. I got all kinds. They tell me something, well, this will fix it. I was like, I got to get through. But I do assisted stretching.
Oh, that's sexy.
I do assisted stretching, and it is worth every penny I pay for it. Okay. Like when they get to pulling and twisting and yes, and I get my chiropractic adjustments.
Okay. So I'm doing massage. So that like my body work that I'm doing, as my quarterly, my goal is to get a massage, but then I'm also doing right now hydrotherapy. Is it hydroflotation therapy?
Ooh.
So that's my once a month commitment. I'm trying to do flotation therapy, and I can sit and meditate and lay out. And they say it's good for your joints, but and your muscles and all of that. But that's my commitment right now. I love me some flotation therapy.
I haven't seen that.
You sit in like salt water and you float in a little like pod, and it's completely pitch black dark, and it's nothing, and it's just your thoughts in some salt water floating for an hour.
I probably would be in there just crying. Letting it all out. I feel like that's the perfect place to do something like that.
Exactly. So I do it once a month, and it's amazing. And that's why I'm like, yo, I must, because when I first started meditation, like 10 years ago, maybe, like when I was at that point in corporate America, and I finally was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I know that I'm feeling all this stuff and I'm like functionally depressed. And I remember somebody told me about some Buddhist retreat up in Woodstock, New York, of all places. And I went and very quickly realized this ain't me either. I remember sitting outside being like, this is not my thing. But I learned, I remember trying to sit in this retreat and meditate, and all the thoughts swirling, all the judgments swirling, and just like I did not have peace. And so now to be able to sit for an hour in pitch black darkness by myself, like naked, like floating in a tub, and like it goes by like that. And I'm like, wow, the peace that I now have without all that chatter, and the work works.
Yeah. I want that. I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I go out to the bayou. I just
Oh,
go out and sit at the bayou, or at the Mississippi River up at Algiers Point. I like to do that.
if I come down, can we go to the bayou and sit
Of
in that chair?
course,
Okay,
of
I'm coming.
course, of
Look,
course.
that sounds
That's like my go-to when my friends come. I'm like, oh, let's just go sit, eat at the bayou.
So wait, can I tell you, the other day there was some violence in my neighborhood and I needed to reground myself. And so I was like, one, I don't want to have any anxiety about my neighborhood. So I was like, I walked around my neighborhood and I prayed like while I was walking. And then there's a park like across the street from me. I live in Northeast, like Northeast, like real DC, right?
Okay. So I lived at Sheriff and Division in East.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying. So I walk across the street, like there's some dudes playing like bid whist and the go-go's blaring and everyone's out there playing. And here I come taking off my shoes, walking through the grass, and I'm like touching the tree. Holding. I was like, I know these dudes is looking at me like, who is this chick? They're like, this, gentrifying chick probably came over here. But I'm like, I felt so much better just sitting there, and I did like my own sort of way, like walking almost like a maze walk, like in the grass. And I was like, I just need to ground myself by connecting to the earth and connecting to these trees for a sec. And I was like, and in my neighborhood, in this place with all this stuff going on, I just want to get connected and grounded again.
You gotta be careful with that though, sis.
Wow.
You gotta be careful with that, because if you gotta make sure you know the history of the ground you're walking on.
You make a really good point. That's a really good point.
Because I was doing a show here. This was the first year I was here, so 2019, and it was in one of the gardens. And I, as soon as I see grass, I take my shoes off. I'm in it. You know what I mean? And they were like, but I started noticing, like, I was in a good mood and I was happy. But like every time I would leave, I would be like sad, like big sad, like super depressed. And when they told me I wasn't allowed to walk around barefoot anymore, I realized that it had changed. Like I wasn't feeling the sadness anymore. So I went and I researched the land, and it turned out it was real bad stuff happened on that before they turned it into this beautiful garden, and I was like, dang, that's real.
That is real. That's really real.
That's real. So I say do it, but just, find your safe spaces to do it, because you don't want to take something in and have that walking with you when you're already fighting things to stay happy and to stay peaceful. I think we forget things like that. Like we got to be really careful about this external stimulus, It says we have like 13 comments, but I don't see them. Oh, here they go. They've been talking to us.
Oh, really?
I was thinking they were quiet. Oh, hey, y'all. I promise I haven't been ignoring y'all. I just didn't see the chat. Yes. What's new, Lacey? Wow, that's new. You never heard of what? Grounding? Putting your feet in the grass? What I miss? What I miss? Hey, Lindsay. Look, there's a whole bunch of messages over here. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back and check the timestamps to see when y'all were responding, because I missed all that. I'm so sorry. But I was in one chat. I think I was in the YouTube chat, and they're on Facebook.
Oh, so I see. Yeah.
But you saw them talking and you ain't saying
no, I see it now. I had the private chat window open, and then I switched to comments. I could only see your comments now.
So. Oh.
Well, hey y'all. Hey Lacey.
Hey y'all. Right. Oh, the water stretching. Yes. No, I don't do water stretching. I do action. They just come and stretch my body. Like it's like a physical trainer doing it. She does water rest therapy is what it sounds like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But and I think the key thing is that, and that's been a big thing for me this year, is self-care. Like, what are you doing to honor yourself? What are you doing to make sure that you are pouring back into yourself and not just they always talk about pouring out from an empty vessel. And I saw something like years ago that talked about, instead of pouring from trying to refill and keep refill, how about give from your overflow? And once that's what I focus on, like, let me pour into myself so much that I'm just overflowing on the people, and I always give from abundance and not from a place of lack.
Now, see, I'm an introvert. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm probably a little more like an extroverted introvert.
Okay. I am an introvert who can do okay in social settings. right? But primarily an introvert. And so filling myself up is something that I've had to do like since I was like forever, just because otherwise I can't function, right? Because people take so much energy from me just by being around them. And what I've learned, not in, similarly to what you just said, is like I have to separate myself. My self-care is not so much like the baths, even though I take them and I love them. Not so much the food and the trips, even though I do that and I love it. My self-care is separating myself from people who need me for enough time to like rebuild, you know what I mean? Like it's, I think that's, I mean, I hope I'm explaining it in a way that makes sense, right? Because for instance, like I'll go to the grocery store, and if the grocery store is packed, by the time I leave the grocery store, I'm exhausted. And I mean, like exhausted. Like I just feel like everybody who walked past me took something. And so I might hermit for like a day or two after just going to the grocery store. You know, does that make sense to you? You know what I'm saying?
No, it makes a lot of sense. And I think part of what that is, to like, even just in the whole conversation we're having, is being conscious of what you need and giving yourself what you need. Yeah. And so in to your point, that definition of an introvert is the fact of being around people. It pulls energy from you. And so being aware of that, I think it's beautiful that then you take the time afterwards unapologetically to refill yourself in that way by sitting and being a hermit.
Like I think this segues into your next profession.
What is it?
Gig number 3, because you're a coach, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, I think I got like 5 jobs. I don't know what, but yes, I coach too.
Yeah. So what's going on with your coaching practice? What's your focus? What's your center?
Yeah, you know, I just got into it this year, and it really was. I started it in the program because I wanted to bring ontology into an ontological thinking into the framework of I Am We Are, and I love it.
Hold on 1 second. How many of y'all know what ontology is? You gotta break that down.
Oh, sorry. Study of the state of being. So if you think of almost a model of be, do, have, so much in the Western world, we focus on, I want to do this to have this. And ontology focuses on you get to be this, or you need to be this in order to do this, to open up to have this. And really going back to center into like, who am I? Back to this whole question of who am I? Who am I? Can
I put that in a statement and you tell me if I'm doing it right? So if I'm thinking in the way of ontology, I read something the other day and it was like, anti-racist is not something you do, it's something you are. And that is the only way we'll get to like liberation, something like that.
Yeah, I think I would.
Is that along the lines like not something that you do, it's something that you are, and it gets you to a goal? Did I hear that right?
I would take it a step back a little bit more, and I don't know if this is not an expert necessarily in ontology, but I would say I think what really is leading that from a beingness is anger. So what I'm being is angry. And so because I'm angry, what I'm doing is hating on you, and I'm being, racist, and I'm taking things around you in order to have my self-esteem built up.
So it's more emotionally centered. It's more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think from that framework, if we can understand, and I worked for the last couple of years for an organization that was working on unifying the country. So it was a lot of time I spent, to the example you used, is like, someone isn't just racist because that's just like, there's emotions tied to that. There's something lacking in them that they're trying to fill by then exemplifying this behavior. And so when we take the time to understand who that person is and try to see the human in them, then we can see the pain that's driving them to do these other actions. It's work to do that, and not everybody is at a place to do that work, but that's the understanding of like, let me get, like, if somebody called me at like the N-word now, we're like, okay, that's cool. That I get you, but like, let's talk about you and what's going on. What is it about you, as James Baldwin said, that needs me to be a nigger to make you feel better about you?
Oh, I'm not there yet. There yet, sis.
Yeah, I've been working on it. I don't know if I'm fully there, but it really is understanding sort of
you call me Pick a Meisha.
Mhm.
She'll talk you through it. I'm not gonna talk you through it. I'm not gonna talk you through it because I'm gonna tell you. Let me say this. I appreciate that. I appreciate that for what that is, and I think it's a beautiful thing. But I also feel like we spend a lot of time trying to figure out why people do stuff when they like that they should know better about.
So you know what? It's not me actively going out and doing that, but if I encounter it, and what it does for me, to your example about the waitress, is you're not shifting my energy. I'm owning my energy and my peace. So you are coming at me with your issues and your problems, and I'm not allowing that to disturb who I am. So I'm anchored in my own peace, and I'm anchored in my own power and my own agency. And so in this moment, I choose not to allow you to enter into that. Now, in that moment, if I choose to, depending on where I am and what's going on, if I choose to sit here and also, like, for me, again, my affirmation at the beginning was to be loved. So how do I respond from a place of love? That's my calling. That's my
yeah, that's your calling.
So in doing that, what is the way to show and respond in love to your blatant, hate? And for me, that's not hate with hate, but that is returning it with, again, and it's I'm working on this, but seeing your humanity and responding from that place. So it's not an active I'm seeking it out, and it's not work that I want to do, because I'm not about changing you or making you better, or etc. But it's when it comes at me, what I'm doing is I'm owning my agency and power, and I refuse to be a victim.
Okay. I hear that.
I don't know. I'm working on it. I may be in a different place tomorrow. I'm learning. This is all my learning. But
yeah,
I'm working on and trying to see. And it's trying to be like, well, what does that mean for me? What does it mean to be loved in all ways? And what does it mean to own my power?
Yeah, I think it takes a special person to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never woke up awakened. I never woke up thinking I want to be loved. I've never had that. I think what happens is I attract love. And it's easy for me to reciprocate kindness, and it's easy for me to reciprocate love. And I'm a highly sensitive person, right? So I feel things. I feel whatever people are feeling generally around me. But I see the benefit of sometimes not being the sweetest person in the room, the kindest person. Sometimes I see the benefit of being the lack of better phrase, the savage.
Okay. Well, look, that's why you got to have all them personalities.
You got to have all them people. I think that's what makes the things tick. You know what I mean? Like,
it honestly does. But I think, to your point, it wasn't something that was an intention for me. It was something that woke up in my spirit, and I was like, what does this mean? And how do I live this out? And how do I make this, back to everything again we're talking about, a practice? And a practice means that I do that not just with the people who are kind to me, but the people that aren't. And again, not actively seeking out, but if it is in my space.
No, yeah. No, I'm saying to you that I love this about you.
Yeah.
I love that this is something that you found for yourself.
I gotta live it out though, but thank you. I'm working.
Yeah, no, and I'm also saying it to say, like, some of us ain't built like that. Don't feel bad if you can't be a Meisha. Everybody can't do that. I'm for real, because people will. There's like a big. First of all, I don't think people should be nasty just to be nasty. I don't think you should be mean to people just to be mean. I think shade culture, that whole be shady and talk trash and who can be the meanest, I think that's corny. I don't think you should ever wake up and just like decide that you're going to go out and like I said, be the nastiest, be the. It's like you see on social media in certain places, and I unfollow people who do this, but you know how you see on certain, like, they'll just everything has to have a snarky, nasty remark, or they gotta be the top this, they gotta say something nasty. I think that is abusive. I think that is like, I think that's like terrorizing people for no reason. Thank you, Lindsay. I needed
Lindsay coming through.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what that is. I do. When I say that sometimes not being the nicest, I mean in spaces where, like, say, for instance, you and I were together and someone came into our space and they did call us the N-word, right? the minute if they don't respond to you in the way that they're supposed to respond to you, I'm going to stand up. Like, that's when I come in. I'm not, like, I wouldn't allow you to have to come out of your space of love and kindness and empathy and understanding to deal with it. Because I'm there. I could do that. I do that. That's my job. And it doesn't stay with me. It leaves as soon as they leave.
Mm-hmm. And so it lingers with me.
Yeah. So, and I think that's personalities. That's a real thing. Like I've always, once the moment is over, the moment is over for me. Yeah, unless it was blissful.
Yeah.
I can live in bliss for a long time. Mm-hmm. Unless it was blissful. I had a blissful Thursday night.
Oh, girl.
I had a blissful Thursday night. I ate crab legs on a balcony, and I could see the St. Augustine Church in the distance, and I could see and like hear, like, it was just nice.
Yeah.
I could live in stuff like that.
Yeah.
You should. When you come, we do have to go. We have to walk to the church. I want to show you the memorial. I think you would have a special relationship with it. Mm. They have yeah. There's a couple places I want to take you. When you coming?
I don't know. It won't be until like the summer of next year. But I'm open to. I love New Orleans. I absolutely love it. It's a magical city, with very magical people. Like there's a something there. I don't know. That's there that I.
Yeah. It's a hard place to live, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a hard place to live, but it's perfect. Okay. We're winding down. I want to start asking you some questions.
Wait, can I go back to coaching for 1 second? I'm sorry.
Please. I'm sorry, didn't mean.
No, that's my fault. But I think coaching. I can't even remember what the question was. Sorry, I got completely derailed.
But what do you do? What is your coaching? What is your focus?
You know what? It really is. I think to the conversation of love and also like light is. I really do feel like who's the author? I can't even think of the book. Their Eyes Are Watching God. Who wrote it?
Zora Neale Hurston.
Thank you. She uses this metaphor of like, she talks about that, like, originally when humans were made, we were all light, and we were like these mirrors that reflected light, and the angels got jealous and they crushed us up into all these other pieces, and then still the light shone through, so they threw mud on us, right? And she talked about that's what was going on with the main character in the book. And I feel like that's what happens to all of us, is that we are all born with this beautiful light, in whether it's, from our households to our communities to like, other experiences that we have as a child, like, in school, etc. It all puts mud on us and we lose the light, right?
Yeah.
And so in losing that light, we also lose our truth. And so I call my coaching practice Highest Truth, because what I want is to help people to understand and connect with their light and their highest truth, and to be able to have the courage, because girl, it takes courage.
Yeah.
Courage and the I'm working on right now, the audacity to be able to then pursue it and like access it and run after it. And that to me is what coaching has done for me and what I want to gift to other people by coaching them.
Awesome. And thank you for bringing us back to that. Mm-hmm. That needed to be said. And yes, audacity.
Audacity, girl.
Audacity.
Yes.
I just want a shirt that says, I got all that. Like, I want it. I want to just walk. Like, I feel like that was one of the hardest things growing up just growing up, like trying to figure out, how do I walk into rooms and show up in spaces and just be like, what y'all trying to say? Why? I know you don't think I ain't supposed to be here, because I'm supposed to be here, like that, like having that kind of audacity.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, like, if I had the understanding and the connection of who I am now, when I was back in corporate America, it also would have been a different experience for me. Like, I didn't know what to do with those tables and those places. And, I was, work hard, keep your head down, show up here like that, that's not how you play, quote unquote, that game. And I didn't have the audacity. I didn't have that understanding of my truth. I didn't know the power of my voice and how to use it.
But we ain't there no more.
We not, girl. We not. So
We not there no more.
We not. So I just think, you know, to that, it's just, you know, it's amazing. I think even at this point, you talked about being like this being 40, and it's like so many of us, even if we are successful in our career, we still may not have fully have accessed that. And so I want like to be able to really understand the fullness of who you are and what you have available, and to be able to like hold it, own it, and like live it. Like that is the joy and the peace and the freedom and, you know, the light that you felt on my pages that I'm
I did. I felt it, girl. When I say I felt it, I really did feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't offer gratuitous compliments. I think so yeah, I needed it. It was refreshing. Like I said, it was refreshing. At least now I know I have a place I can go if I need to perk up.
Oh, that really felt good. Thank you.
Yeah. And her Instagram is her name, just like it's spelled here, at, and then her name, right?
Yep, Meisha Lerato.
Yep, I'm not tripping. Okay. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Let's do it.
Go ask you some questions. Okay.
I'm ready. Okay, Louis. Okay, we're getting serious here. Let me get up close. All right.
And it's a straw. I don't know how serious we're getting with a straw.
Oh, well, okay. I don't have a straw. I got a straw.
Describe your perfect day.
Ooh. Girl, I'm like looking back. I'm thinking about you and the crabs on the balcony.
Oh, it was good.
If we got a wand and we just waving it, like I woke up at like in a bed, and the bed just faced like a window, and I could see the beach. Like the beach is like steps. Like I open this window, and there's sand right there, and there's waves. So the perfect day is I see that sun rising. I come out, I'm going to sit and meditate right there on the little balcony that's there, you know, shower, get dressed, have some breakfast out on the patio, you know, my devotion and all that. And then I'm going to like just sit and be, whether that's a walk on the sand, whether that's reading a book, whether that is, you know, I'm just going to be with the water, with the sand in that space. That's a perfect day.
I love that. Do you prefer beach or lake?
Beach, girl, beach. I'm a beach person. I need that water to flow. I need the sound. I need like all of the sounds and the smells of the beach. My family's from Atlantic City, so I need all the sounds and smells.
Okay. Well, then I know that means then you would prefer an island to a mountain.
Oh, can I have an island with the mountain? Why do I have to choose? They got mountains on these islands.
They do.
Right.
They do.
So then put that back in the perfect day, like after the beach, like a walk or a hike, like something. Like I love nature, like but I like mountains because I like waterfalls. So I still need the water.
Okay. I'll tell you, one of my girlfriends was telling me that she went to, was it Kingston or Negril?
I haven't been in Jamaica yet. I know. Don't judge me. I know.
I'm not judging you. I just know that you'll love it.
I know. I have to go. I need to.
I know. I went to Negril in May. Was it May? June. First week of June. And it was just, my grandmother had just passed away, and I needed a place to like recoup. It was the best thing I could have ever done. This place, it was called Sunset at the Palms, and it was just a resort of treehouse suites.
Not a treehouse suite. Look, I'm going on the internet
now. Write it down.
Like, I love
a bird sanctuary garden. So it was like all these like hummingbirds and stuff around, and it was and then they had like they own like a cove of the beach, so it's like this private, like, you know, white sand. It was delicious.
Okay, Sunset Suites.
Sunset at the Palms.
Oh, Sunset at the Palms. Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, that. I'm sorry. Look, you may like. I may.
You gotta do it. You gotta. You have to. I'm telling you, I'm going back. I'm going back in November.
Wait, so can I tell you, my dream is to have a treehouse one day, like in a rainforest somewhere, like in a treehouse where like I can come out almost not like a moat, but like some kind of thing where like the water's there in a treehouse, and like I like a little tiny, like almost like a tiny house or a container house, but like a treehouse.
Lindsay said treehouse, Sweetwater. Are those the things you're Googling?
Come on, Lindsay,
let's do it. Yes to a treehouse. Now, I've always said that I'm going to have a she shed. just like a little spot outside of my house, because eventually I'll get married, and likely, because this is the way my life is set up, I'll be surrounded by nothing but men, and I'm gonna need to go outside and just have my own space, a mama's house, and it's just gonna be in the back of the yard. Ain't nobody allowed to come back there. Y'all can't even knock on the door. And it's gonna be decked out. And I want an RV camper. I want an old school Airstream traveler camper.
Ooh, there's a lady I follow on Instagram. I think it's like the Trotter family or something. And they there's a husband and wife and a son, and they live in a RV, and that RV is so sexy, girl. And they just be traveling around the world and around the country.
I want one of those. Because we rent them. Like, we'll go and we don't rent them to drive. We'll go and like Airbnb, on Airbnb you can do the unusual or unique stays, and they have like these decked out RVs that are stationary in different places. Like last summer, Josiah and I went chasing waterfalls. Not the summer, like at the end of summer, we went chasing waterfalls.
You gotta put me on your tell me where you're going, because apparently you're going to places that are speaking to my soul. Not that you're now you're chasing waterfalls. I'm like,
oh what? Yes, there are so many. There are so many in the States, especially coming from DC, because we were coming from DC, coming back to New Orleans, and we drove. So like there was like a huge place in Greenville, South Carolina. There's tons here in Louisiana, Mississippi, all over the place. There's just waterfalls. Oh, and we stayed.
Drove and stopped, and then drove and then stopped, and then just
and one of the places that we stopped, it was an RV setup thing, and it was gorgeous, and it was perfect, and they had built a deck around it, and they had an outside shower, girl. The outside shower.
Look, let me find out. We can say, like, you can just like, I'm all about an outdoor shower. I just got it for my birthday out.
Me too. I love it.
And
I love it.
Yeah. I was like, outdoor shower. Girl, that was the best thing about Peace Corps, is that I had an outdoor shower for 2 years. Like, I loved it. I loved it.
I didn't know I would love it. I thought I would be kind of like, can something see me? And then I was like, child, if you see me, you see me, baby. It's just gonna be what it is, baby.
Yes.
It's just gonna be what it is. You're welcome.
That water hitting you and the sun on your back and the breeze.
The only thing I would say is better than that is a hot tub in the snow.
Okay.
Let
me get. Wait, you see me getting a piece of paper?
Yes, the only thing. The first time I ever did that, we went to Lindsay. No, I don't think we did that. No, because I was pregnant then. But we go to. I love renting a cabin with a hot tub in the winter, and it's got to be, the hot tub has to be outside, because it's something about the contrast between temperature and then just like jumping out and running into the house to like a roaring fire. And
okay, I'm not a snow person, but I'm willing. It's on.
I'm not talking about hanging out in the snow. Let's be very clear. I'm talking about being in the hot tub while it's snowing, and then getting out of the hot tub and going into your nice, warm, cozy cabin, enjoying life.
Okay,
I'm not talking about rolling in the snow.
I started a bucket
list. Yes, start your list.
This time bucket list. Lindsay, did you get it? Lindsay, you taking notes too, right?
Okay.
Let's go. Okay,
we only have a few minutes left.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know. We have to do this again. You just gotta have to pop back in. We'll have to do a check-in.
Anytime you went, it was such a look. We gotta talk more in general. It was such a pleasure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, go
ahead.
But
I need you to tell me all the things that you need the people to see and to know about what you've got going on, what you've got coming up. Yes. I'm gonna give you a solo shot here. Go off, baby.
Hey. So if you would like to learn more about I Am We Are, please go to IamWeAreYouth.org. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at I Am We Are Youth as well. We have our annual reception and benefit art auction coming up on December 11th. It'll be virtual, and we will also have a gallery show, so you can see the art on December 2nd in DC. And the virtual reception is taking place December 11th as well. So please go again to IamWeAreYouth.org to learn more, get tickets. You can get these t-shirts as well if you want, and support us and learn more about our work that we're doing. And you can follow me personally on Instagram at Meisha Lerato. Thank you.
All right. All right, perfect.
Did him speaking?
So This is Josiah back in the house.
Hey,
we are. Oof. Sorry. No, it's okay, baby. Thank you so much. I appreciate you much.
Wait, Mary, I have a question.
Yes.
What did your intern say? You said you sent the note back. I just wanted to know what was her spirit when you talked to her. What was your reflection back?
She was about your conversation.
Yeah, because you left me a note, and I just wanted to know. I know that was.
She was absolutely just. I think you were one of the only ones who had taken time outside of the interview to talk with her, to spend time like actually speaking with her outside of just the interview. Josiah. Tootie, put it back the way it was, honey. Outside of just the interview. And she is a dynamic. I mean, one of the reasons why, the way that this even rolled, is because of how phenomenal that young lady is.
Yes, I just wanted to give a shout out too. That's what made me think of it. So
yeah, she her name is Abigail.
Thank you.
And she owns a nonprofit, and she started when she was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And that has like multiple chapters across the country now, and it's getting Asian Pacific Islanders who are old enough and eligible to vote. She's just a phenomenal person and really dedicated to her work, and so I wanted her to connect with people who I felt like were also in that way connected to their own work. And she did learn. I know they both said, there's two of them, Olivia and Abigail. Olivia is now studying abroad in the Netherlands. And I mean, they're just these. Hey.
Oh, wait, I was like, let me see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, the music stopped playing now. Are we still?
We were trying my oh no. What? Everything just went crazy. I don't know what happened. So I don't know what happened. I hope Meisha comes back. We ended up in a weird kerfuffle where my my computer decided to turn pitch black and just shut off. But that was Meisha Lerato. And if she doesn't come back in the next few minutes, just know she's amazing. I'm sure you guys saw that. Please find and follow her online at Meisha Lerato. I will put that in the description for this because it lives on my page. It also lives on YouTube, so you can always go and find us there. Josiah saying good night. Y'all can't see the rest. Oh, Josiah saying hello. So I just wanted to say thank you all for being here. As usual, you are lovely and wonderful, and we care about you. Please share these with your friends. Let them know that we're in here and we're popping and everything is good. And I will bring Meisha back. And I think that's all the technical difficulties we can handle for tonight. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. It's been another Tribe Talk on a Tuesday with Miriam, and we love you and we thank you for being here. Yeah. Mwah.